Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat with Gina K. I am Gina K, and I am so glad that all of you are here this evening. I see so many of you here already, lots of comments coming through on the side of my screen, and I'd like to welcome you all from everywhere, all over the USA, North America, and all over the world. It is an exciting night tonight. It's been a little bit crazy out there on the internet. I don't know if you saw any of my recent posts, but I have gotten beat up pretty bad out there, but you know, it is what it is. And tonight, our topic is staying positive through tough times. I really wanted to talk about staying positive because I know that a lot of you, just like me, are just kind of out there, you know, doing your best, trying to care, trying to be there, and it's not always easy. So, you know, having a positive mental attitude is asking how something can be done rather than saying that it can't be done. Often we don't see things how they are, we see things how we are. So try to find an optimistic viewpoint in a negative situation. That's what I've been trying to do lately. So what I do is I ask myself a couple of questions. I say, is there something good about this situation? And I also ask myself, what is the opportunity within this situation? And that's more the important question. And sometimes it takes time to figure it out. But remember, what you send out to the world, you get back from the world. So instead of speaking, sometimes it's better to listen and be an encourager of people who are struggling. And when you receive criticism, this is what I've learned, when you receive criticism, don't reply right away. Don't respond right away. First, listen to the criticism and ask if there's anything you can learn from it. Sometimes criticism is an opportunity for growth. But remember, sometimes criticism is just people lashing out because they're either lonely, they're unhappy, or they're afraid of change. It's like they're yelling at themselves in the mirror. So staying positive doesn't mean that everything will go okay. It just means that knowing how it goes, you'll be okay no matter what. Okay, so tonight, I'm really excited for tonight because you know that I went camping and Tom and I were up there just relaxing, and I took like just a tiny little makeup bag with just a couple things with me just for those few times when we would go, you know, bike riding and I'd have to see other people. It was really fun. Thanks for asking. I know a lot of you have been asking how was camping. It was really fun. We actually went up to Door County, Wisconsin, which is beautiful, right on Lake Michigan, and we stayed in a little campground there. I'm telling you, I'm such a simple person. I love camping, and I love hot dogs and s'mores and the smell of firewood and just really simple things. So we did that, and I took this tiny little makeup bag, and I remember not that long ago, I purged my makeup drawer, and I got rid of a lot of things, but one of the things that I didn't get rid of was this. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this, but I just think I was like, oh, look at the pretty colors. And I wonder how many of you have something like this in your drawer right now. If you're a dude, maybe your wife, your girlfriend, your mom, your grandmom might have something like this that's been sitting in their drawer and they are just not interested in it anymore and it needs to go. Well, I had done a video about this, I guess about a half a year ago, and I'm going to show you some fun ways that you can use this old kind of makeup eyeshadow palette. So let me flip the camera around here to the overhead. So here is that palette. And this is a great opportunity for you to use some of these tiny brushes that come with the Picket Fence Studios Life-Changing Brushes brush set. Now you can see I have several of the same size, and that's because I have several sets of these brushes. I really like the brushes. So I wanted more for more colors, so I bought a couple of sets of them. But even if you only have a couple, you can still use them to do this technique. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my paper cutter out here, and I don't even have everything ready. Here we go. I am going to pick a color cardstock. Now I have a couple colors that work really great with this technique. This is a really pretty color. This is called Edible Eggplant. I love that color and I don't give it enough love. Here is In the Navy, and then of course here is our beautiful Black Onyx. So let's do the first one on black. We'll try that first because I know that works. And again, a lot of my lives, I just try things live right with you guys. So I'm going to cut this one down to 5 inches here by 3 3/4 of an inch. And if you guys see my bracelets tonight, I have this bracelet here is actually my bracelet, my medical alert bracelet. It tells you that I'm diabetic and that I have thyroid disease and all of that kind of stuff. And it just comes on the, like this comes off and you can change out the different bracelets. This bracelet Tom just bought for me. This is made of trash. Isn't that cool? It's made, only the best. This is made out of ocean garbage, and every bracelet that you buy, it uses up, I don't know, 5 pounds of garbage maybe. So he was out of town and got one back for me, one for Alicia, and one for Rena. So we got rid of quite a bit of ocean garbage, and I love it. It's so pretty. It's just really cute, and it's adjustable. So it can be really big or it can be really small. I have kind of small wrists, so it's great. I love it. So I wanted to show you that. And sometimes jewelry can be distracting, but I did learn that I need to have my medical alert bracelet on at all times, and I don't wear it enough. Okay, so this is a makeup palette that I think I bought at Kohl's maybe, or Target, I don't know. I just walked by it and went, ooh, I like that, I have to have it. That was not a good purchase, but it turned out to be not too bad because I'm having fun with it in my craft room. So I'm just going to get one of these brushes and I'm going to pull a couple of different colors here. Now the colors look really bright in the palette, but they don't look all that bright when you start blending them onto the cardstock. I think one of the reasons why I really like using the eyeshadow for this instead of chalk, and I know a lot of people have the old pastels, the chalks, eyeshadow has a little bit of an oil in it and it doesn't seem to rub off as easily or smear as much. Now, if you only have one makeup brush, you can just use some kind of little rag and you can just wipe it off. And then you can go to the next color. So I'm going to go to the blue here. And then I'm going to add some of that blue. And you can see I'm just doing simple little kind of round dots. It almost looks a little bit like the bokeh technique, if you've ever seen that, where it looks like kind of those orbs that you get in photography. I don't know how people do that. I was never a good photographer, but kind of looks like that. And then I'm going to use some pink. So I'm going to get some of this kind of hot pink up here and see what that looks like. Yes, my garbage bracelet. I do love it though. And Alicia and Rena really like theirs too. I don't know, it feels good to wear it like you're doing something to help. Okay, so you can leave it like that, or you can take another kind of empty blending brush and just kind of blend it all together a little bit if you want, just to kind of get rid of any of the gaps in between. And then if you really want to, you could take a microfiber cloth and you could just kind of rub over it just to get rid of the excess. And then it really doesn't like mark up when you touch it or anything. So I kind of like that. Now it doesn't look like much right now, but it will when I use my stamp. So I'm going to use a background stamp for the first one. And you can go back, you can add absolutely as much. I really don't need my Misty for this, so I don't know why I have it out, but maybe I'll just use it to stick the stamp on. If you have cling stamps, you take the mat out of your Misty, and then they will stick right to your Misty, and it makes it a little easier to use. So if you want to add more color in there, by all means, add more color than I have. Might do a little bit more in here. Okay. So then I'm going to take the Gina K Designs Embossing and Watermark ink, and I am going to ink up this background stamp really well. Now, I don't have sleeves tonight, but I do have the paper that comes off of the back of these rubber stamps, and that is a really easy thing to use for gliding over your cardstock. I have been really using this pad a lot, and I think it needs a little re-inking. Now, one thing, if you want to double stamp, you can always tape your cardstock to this part of your Misty on the side here. I know you can't see that, but you can always tape it right onto the door of the Misty with a little purple tape, and then you can double stamp if you want. I'm going to just lay this on top here, and then I'm going to put this piece right on top, and I'm going to rub all over it. And of course, you can do this with just a plain piece of cardstock too. You don't have to do it with a piece of paper like this, but it just makes contact everywhere, and it makes using rubber background stamps so much easier. Now, if you don't have the Gina K Designs Embossing and Watermark pad, don't worry about it. You can use a Versamark pad. As long as it's a clear ink, that's what you want. And here we go. Look at that. Is that pretty? I love how that looks. So I'm going to put that one aside. I found one that I did for my original video when I was looking through stuff to do tonight, and you can see this one has a lot more yellow in it. So depending on what colors you put on there, you can get a really cool look. Okay, so that's one. I'm going to just let that sit for a little bit, and I'm going to take this out here. The Versamark ink or the Embossing and Watermark pad, I do use my Tidy Towel. But if I've used it a lot and I let it sit and kind of dry on there, sometimes I'll just take the whole rubber stamp over to the sink, and I'll put a little bit of Dawn dish detergent in there and just scrub it with an old toothbrush. And you can't damage rubber stamps. I mean, unless you put something heavy on it where it like pushes down into the rubber, it's really hard to damage rubber stamps. Rubber stamps are vulcanized rubber, and it's kind of like, gosh, it's like a tire. I mean, you can't really hurt it. All right, I'm going to move this Misty out of the way because my next one I think I'm going to do with some regular stamps. So I'm going to try, I really want to try this edible eggplant. So I'm going to cut this one down to, let's do this one a little smaller. We'll make this one 4 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches. So this is a small panel. And I'm going to go back and add some ink on here, not ink, eyeshadow. Where'd my eyeshadow go? Here it is. So, I mean, you know, you got to try all the colors because you just don't know what they're going to look like. Like, I really want to try this one. See what it looks like. Okay, I didn't expect it to show up so nicely. So that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to add more of that. Yeah, these are really fun. And they're a little messy, but, you know, I'm just glad I'm getting my money's worth because I don't know that I mean, these are not colors that I would ever wear. And use some yellow. And even if they are colors that you'd wear, it doesn't use a ton of eyeshadow to do this. I wouldn't go use your good Jeffree Star palette or anything like that. I would definitely buy a cheaper makeup. But for those of you who don't know who Jeffree Star is, he is a YouTuber and he does makeup palettes and stuff. I only know that because I've heard that playing somewhere in my kids, when my kids were here, living here at the house. I would hear that once in a while. Plus, I really kind of like sometimes watching those kinds of YouTube videos. They're just fun. I like to see how creative people are with makeup. Even though I'm not very creative with my own makeup. I put it on to get it on. All right, I'm gonna use a little green too in here. I just wanna see what that looks like. Oh, you know what we should do too? We should definitely try one that's a rainbow. All right, so that's got a lot of color on it. I don't even know if I like the colors I picked together, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. It looks different once you get the stamp on there because everything just softens up, you know? Like you don't really see all the blobs as much. Blobs, that's a technical term in stamping. Okay, so I'm going to use the embossing and watermark ink. And yeah, this is not the color it will be if you get yours. The color it will be if you use yours and forget to clean your stamps in between. That's what that is. Oh, you know what I want to use? I was going to do one with this. I'll do one with this first. This is Sentimental Bouquet. And I know I used this one last time and some of you ordered it. So I wanted to make sure I used it again so that, you know, you guys who bought it get another use out of it, get another card out of it or another idea out of it. So I'm putting one of the little sprigs on here. All right, so I'm just going to start stamping all over. And I'm turning the card as I go. And this way, it doesn't look too patterned. I'm going to turn this one that way. I'm going to do one up here. One maybe this way. Down there. I always like to stamp a little off the card panel. This way you definitely, it looks more like pattern paper when you do that. So I'm going to do a flower. I'm going to do a tiny flower here. This has a dot on the top because I put a little Sharpie dot and I put it on the die too so I could figure out what position the die should be in based on how it was stamped. Okay. So we'll put one here. Oh, I love how this looks. This feels like, I don't know, when you use this for the first time, it feels really smooth, like different than those chalk pastels or the chalks that we used to use. It just feels smoother. It seems to work better. I don't know why. I don't want to put it there. I want another image. Okay, so I'm gonna clean that image off. And then I'll put an image like this. This little leaf sprig will be nice. I might have to put something in there more though. We'll see. Isn't this just fun? It's so magical when you pull it up and just that color of the cardstock just shows through. Now, even though this is edible eggplant, it does look very, very dark. So maybe we should try doing something really much lighter and seeing what it comes out like. I just want to get a few more little fill-ins here so it looks a little more finished. Oh, if I could just get it in there, but I can't. Okay, so there we go. It's kind of cool. And it's much bolder looking because of the boldness of the images than that first one that we did. But the color looks very similar, even though they're different colors. The color looks very similar. So let's try one that's much brighter and see what result we get. Because I think that's fun too. We have to try one like that. So let me see what cardstock I have laying over here. We could do something really vibrant. Let's do this. right, I'm gonna get a piece of cardstock to cut. I have an idea. I'll be right there. I had to go all the way over here, a whole foot, and get some tranquil teal. Is this tranquil teal? I think it's tranquil teal. Looks like tranquil teal. And then we'll do that same smaller measurement here, the 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. This does not look like tranquil teal. I'm gonna have to get the ink pad to see. Oh yeah, that's tranquil teal. Okay, I don't know my own colors. Is anybody out there keeping track of me for me? I would really appreciate that. Oh, I see so many more of you have joined us. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone. It's so glad to have you here. And if anybody, I'm just going to mention it. If anybody sees a spammer or anything, you can feel free to block them or delete them. Not just somebody that, you know, is saying something you don't like. I'm talking about like a real spammer that comes in with some weird link or, you know, something like that. Buy these Ray-Ban sunglasses kind of thing. Yeah, somebody asked, how long does it take to dry? I just let it sit, but you can see I'm rubbing my finger all over it and nothing is really happening. So it doesn't take very long at all to dry. Now, I don't know what this is going to look like, so we're going to experience this together at the same time. I'm going to start with some green. I want to see what the green does. And the other thing you have to be careful about, I guess, when you're doing this kind of thing is not to put colors on here that are going to look kind of brown. But we'll see. The green's cool. This is the darker green in my makeup palette. Yes, and if you're just joining us, I'm actually using old eyeshadow that I bought and didn't like. Like that's never happened to anybody, right? I'm going to try this brighter pink. Well, that's kind of cool. And you can see when I'm blending these eyeshadows, I'm not as worried. You know how when we're blending ink, we try to be really aware of where those colors are on the color wheel next to each other. I don't really care with this because eyeshadow for some reason just doesn't seem to be that that blendy together where it turns brown. So as long as you're using something like that and it doesn't turn brown, I would say, you know, give it a try. All right, I'm going to use this one because I want to use some yellow. I don't know what yellow is going to look like on here. They all just kind of look good. We're making a mess. That is the best part of crafting, is making a mess. Being okay with it. Okay, this is kind of weird, but I think it's going to look good. Let me clean off these brushes. Clean off this green one here because I want to use some orange. I'm just getting rid of some of the color in my trash can. I just tapped some of the color off on the side of my trash can. I want to use this color and see what happens. See, it doesn't really seem to affect. Like if I did that with ink, this would just be a murky color, but you know, this is working. Putting orange on there because I want to see if it's, you know, more vibrant than the yellow. Okay, I think that's good. All right. Oh, I missed a spot here. See, with the color like this, it's easy to miss spots because you don't really realize that that's not an eyeshadow you put down. All right, I'm getting my microfiber cloth here. I'm just going to get rid of the excess. Now, hopefully this will be very vibrant when we do it. I want to use this because this is another stamp set I've used a lot. So some of you probably have it now, and it's the Wild Blossoms stamp set. And I did notice that we have another huge shipment of these coming in because I've used it so much. I think a lot of you maybe found lots of good uses for it and you've purchased it. So if it is sold out, and I don't know what's sold out, I don't keep track daily, but if it is sold out, I know we have more coming. Okay, so I'm going to try this. I've never done this before with this color like this. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try this with my Misty Matte. And let's get this piece of cardstock in here. I'm going to turn this over because this could be icky. All right, so I'm going to put that there. And then, actually, I'm going to use my corner. The Misty corners are very useful. I'm going to put that there, and then this way I can let the stamp go out on this side a little bit. I can also do this on the side like this, but let's try this. Let's just see what it looks like together. All right. So here we go. And now I'm going to use more of the embossing and watermark pad. Okay. I want to do it right the first time because I don't want to have to re-stamp this. So I want to make sure that it's really inky. And I might have to get a re-inker for this because I emboss all the time. So I really use embossing stuff a lot. Okay, I'm going to use this just to help me slide over it. Oh, it looks like it's going to be cool already. Can you see through? It looks like it's going to be something cool. Oh, that's really pretty. See, I didn't think it was going to look that good. Or I would have done some of these before. I love that. That's very cool. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. And maybe I'll turn these into some cards now. Since we did a solid stamp, we did a do-it-yourself background, and we did a big background stamp. So let's see. You know another one that would be really good? Let's do one more. I got to do one more. And then we'll see how many we can turn into cards with the time that we have left. So let's do another vibrant color. How about, should we do a red? I'm going to see if I have a red. Oh, no, I know what color. Here's a color that I barely use, and it's cranberry tart. So let's do cranberry tart. We'll do this one a little bit bigger. We'll do the 5.5. And then we'll do that by 3 3/4. Now this one, I'm going to use the stamp set called A Big Hello. And for those of you that have followed me for a while, you might notice that I started doing sneak peeks today on social media, both in my Instagram story and on Facebook. We're having a new release this Wednesday night. And the stamp set, A Big Hello, that a lot of you love, is in stock. Well, it's in our warehouse, and it's going to be available for sale by itself. This was part of the kit, A Big Hello. And I know a lot of you were waiting for it. So this one will be available on Wednesday night. So we're gonna use this big stamp here and do something up the side. Maybe we'll even flip it over. Okay, so let's see what we can do. I'm gonna do some of this bright green. Ooh, green on red. That would never work in the real world. But this is not the real world. Look at that. This is fantasy color land. Makeup world. What can I do with all the old lipsticks I bought? I have so much old makeup that, you know, you try a color and you think, oh, this is my shade. And then you put it on and you're like, that is not my shade. So it's kind of fun to come up with something that's enjoyable to do with it, like this. All right, what other color should I put on there? Let's see if you guys are suggesting colors, or no, you're not. Okay, so I'm on my own. I'm gonna go with this bright. Ooh, I changed the color of that. Oh, I don't even know that I'm gonna see that. Oh, I'm gonna have to wipe that off with my finger. Let me use my finger. I'm going with the finger applicator, like I do with my own makeup. Just smush it around. I don't want to do too much of that color though, because I want to see the difference. So maybe I'll go with green. I'll go with some green here. Oh yeah. This is really just a wing job, but it's so fun. It's kind of hard to make it look bad. How about purple? We haven't used any of this dark purple. None of the colors really look dark unless you put them on your eyelids and they really look crazy. Okay, well that's gonna look good. We're gonna go with that. I know it looks crazy right now, but let me get the microfiber cloth and clean off. There we go. Okay. Do a little bit up there. Get all that. Look at me. I am covered. All right, so now I'm going to put that up in the corner here, and we're going to put this stamp coming down there. Well, I know another one I wanted to do. I wanted to do a butterfly. Maybe I'll add a butterfly. I just felt like a real bold butterfly. Well, there's so many things you could do. We could actually just go through stamp set after stamp set and find a million things to do. You can see that is a stamp I didn't clean very well last time. You can see. All right, it should work though. So I'm using the embossing and watermark ink pad again. Okay. The blue does look purpley on here. But I just love how responsive it is when you put the stamp on there. It's so receptive to this technique. Oh, I love that. That is beautiful. This will look a lot different too when I take pictures of it and show it to you in the Facebook group. So if you guys are watching me on YouTube, we do have a Facebook group. If you're new, I know a lot of you already know this because I say it all the time, but we have a Facebook group called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. And it's a really, really fun group, really supportive, beautiful projects in there from stampers of all levels, beginners all the way up to very experienced stampers, share their Gina K Designs projects in there and share their projects using the techniques from my lives. So that's really fun, and we would love to have you. It is a private group, so you have to request to join, but guys, look at that. Isn't that fun? That's really pretty. I did not expect it to look that pretty. I'm just like, wow. Okay, so all different. The Tranquil Teal, Cranberry Tart, Edible Eggplant, and Black Onyx. These are very fun. To turn them into cards. So I'm going to turn what I can into cards here. And then I will post all of those cards in that Facebook group. So you can get nice, clear pictures of what I did, because I know the quality of the lives aren't as great as they could be. We are working on it, I promise. All right, so we could, let's see what we can do next. All right, let's do this one first, since this was one of the first ones that I made. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down a piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to cut that down just a little bit bigger. I definitely think that these cards need a white layer, a tiny white layer. You know how I normally do my tiny black layer? Well, these need a tiny white layer. So this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And if I say the wrong measurement, just go ahead and correct me in the comments and I'll probably catch it. Oh, I did. I messed it up. Well, did I mess it up or did I just cut this one wrong? Let's check. So this one could be cut wrong. Oh, yeah. This should be cut down to 3 3/4 inches by 5. Okay, there we go. That's the measurement I like. And then that will go right on top of that. That really makes a difference. That little white layer going around the outside really makes a difference. I might take a little while to post all these pictures tonight because I feel like I have to make backgrounds. I mean, I have to make cards out of all of them because they're all so fun. Okay. And then you could put this on any color cardstock that you want. You know, you could mix it up. Like in this case, this edible eggplant might be a beautiful color because this pink over that black really turned like an eggplant color. So let's go with that. And I should score this. So I'm going to score this piece of cardstock right at the 5.5 inch mark. I feel like this is one of those technique videos where most of us don't have to go out and buy anything. We just have to go retrieve something from our drawer that we've hated forever. So hopefully you're in that position. But if you're not and you have any eyeshadows at all, even ones that you like, you certainly could try a little bit. But also, you know, even when you go like to Target or Walgreens, they always have kind of the cheap makeup section. Now, that happens to be where I buy all my makeup, but they have some really fun, bright, funky colors that are really fun. Oh, I love that combination. Okay, so now what am I going to add to this? So I have my little bag of words, and I feel like might be able to do something really fun with just a bright white word and a little strip sentiment. We could also emboss a flower to go over this. So you have to be careful though, don't emboss right on here because everywhere that embossing powder is, the powder will stick to that as well, and you don't want to lose that look. So let me just put this aside because I want to see if that would look better maybe here. I also have Smile done. Oh, I have Shine and I have Smile. Maybe I'll do a Smile card. This one I feel like it really needs something elegant. Yeah, it's hard to decide what to do. So I think what I'm going to do here is, for this one, I am going to, on eggplant, on a piece of eggplant, I am going to emboss a flower, something that I can cut out, or even a butterfly. I could emboss a butterfly that I could cut out. Let me find Elegant Asters because I know where the die set on that one is. I know that's very close by here. Give me a second. Again, sorry, I'm usually, well, I'm lying if I say I'm usually much more organized. I am not ever more organized. Okay, so I'm going to do this butterfly right on here. This is the Elegant Asters stamp set. And I'm going to do the butterfly right on here. I think I'll play with this one for some of the imagery. So I'm going to stamp that using an acrylic block. And some of this embossing and water ink. And then I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to die cut it. Okay, just stamp it up here so I can do it 3 more times if I don't get it perfect. That looks pretty good. I bet that would have been pretty even if I had done the background technique and then stamped the butterfly. I probably could have die cut it just like that. But this will definitely make it more bright and it will make it fit a little bit better with the word, with that cutout word. So if you use embossing powder, and sorry about that, you can always take a little paintbrush, and I always have some dry paintbrushes laying around. You can use a little paintbrush and you can just get away any of the excess flakes of embossing powder before you emboss it. You definitely want to do it before, but if you miss one, don't worry about it, because you can also use the mono sand eraser and that will get rid of it too. But if it's like right in here, it'd be kind of awkward to try to get it out. So I thought I'd do it now. So I'm gonna let this heat gun heat up just for a minute. My heat tool. And if the sound is a little off, it's because the sound is coming from my front camera and the overhead shot is coming from my overhead camera, and they are on two completely different internet streams. So I don't even know how it's set up. I'm hoping for the best. Okay, there we go. Ooh, that's looking good. Okay. We have to finish at least one card tonight. And I can always go back and play with the other ones and add pictures later. Now, let me move a few things around here. So, if you are joining me for one of the very first times, I like to make a template when I die cut. I do that using a little piece of thin cardstock, like a thinner cardstock. Some of our mid-weight works really well for that. I've got a piece of peach Bellini here. And I like to do this shot because all you can really just see is my hand cranking, because I can't get under the camera over here next to me. So I'm kind of telling you play by play what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with this peach Bellini cardstock, and I'm going to get the butterfly die from the Elegant Asters die set, and I'm going to cut one of them out using some peach Bellini. Now I like to do this technique because it really does help me line up the images better, especially when you're dealing with tiny little, you know, I don't know what these are called. I call them antennas, like they're receiving messages from space, but those things. And so I'm going to cut this out. You can see I made a butterfly here. I don't know all the technical terms. I'm not a nature girl per se. That I can't, because I like the hot dogs. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on top. Let me just kind of push that back down. I'm going to lay this on top so that, isn't it cool to die cut on darker cardstock like this? It's so beautiful. I don't do this enough either. I'm constantly embossing and stamping on white or ivory cardstock or craft cardstock, but I love having that little dark edge going around the outside. It's so pretty. Okay, let's just shift it a little more so that it looks right. Okay, and then I'm going to tape that down. And then, oh, you can't see what I'm doing. You're just looking at the top of my head. All right, let me show you that. Here we go. So you can see I just laid that on top, and I made sure that I could see the edges going around. So that's pretty close. And then I tape it down with some purple tape. I think I want to move it this way just a hair. There we go. All right. And then I could see different. I could see overhead when I look at that camera. Okay, and then I take the die and I just snap it into place till I feel it and it can't move around anymore. Then I know it's in the right spot and it should cut looking the way that it looked with the little template over it. All right, so this is going to go. Let me tape that down onto my plate. So now you see nothing. And let me put myself back in the scene here. Here we go. Okay, there I am. And now I'm going to cut this out. Okay. Now we will move this back overhead. So pull that out. Did I not cut all the way through? All right. There we go. So you can see that looks pretty good, right? Pretty good. Okay. And you can save these templates with your stamp sets if you want. Just be careful taking the purple tape off and you can reuse them. Put that away. I'll worry about that later. I want to make at least one card tonight before our time is up. All right. Get this out of the way. So now I have this card and I have this butterfly. And then I have the word smile, and I also have the word wishes. So what do you like better? I think wishes. Let me see. I have the little stamp sets that coordinate with these. So if you order the die, the die for smile or wishes, they also have a complimentary stamp set. Not complimentary. Kind of, yeah. They have a coordinating stamp set. So smile, you can say, you make my heart smile. Smile, we've got each other. Smile, you are not alone. That would be really nice. And wishes, you can do sending wishes, summer wishes, Christmas wishes, loving wishes. I love the wishes, but I think I want to do something with smile. I think I want to do smile, we've got each other. All right, so I just happened to catch out of the corner of my eye a piece that I cut off of a piece of cardstock, just a little strip that I cut off. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to stamp this, we've got each other. I'm going to wing it freehand. Oh, Lord help me. So when you have images like this, it's real easy for them to bend and not look straight. So what I do is I lay the image where the way you would stamp it, down on the cards, on a piece of cardstock, and then I pick it up using my acrylic block. This way there's not a chance that it will get distorted and be crooked. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this in black onyx. I can't see what I'm doing. That's pretty good for not seeing what you're doing. We'll go with that. I'm not going to try it a second time. I'm not going to tempt fate. That is close enough. All right, so we've got each other. Now I want to make a little flag out of it. So this is really tiny, so hopefully I can wing this pretty well. I'm going to cut it right here. Straight. That's almost straight. And then I'm going to cut it over here, almost straight. I'm going to cut it over here. This is the way I cut my bangs. And then all of a sudden, my bangs are a ½ an inch long. I need a wig. You know, you keep going and going and going. One side, the other side, one side, the other side. Okay. So now I'm going to just cut a V in here toward the center of the letter R, and on this side. This will be pretty close. I think whoever I send it to probably won't worry too much if this isn't perfect. And this toward the center of the W. There we go. Okay, so smile, we've got each other. Now I think I'm going to use some Connect glue to put this smile down. I have not used my Connect glue in a while. So let's see here. I just opened it and it's looking pretty good. So for this, I'm just going to put little dots of glue. Now, I know that you've seen me do it before and you've seen Jennifer McGuire do it. That's where I learned it. You can stack these dies the way I did with the wishes. You can see that's kind of thicker because I stacked 3 of them together. But you don't have to, and it's still going to look nice, so don't worry. Now, the other thing is that if a little bit of this glue oozes out, it's okay because it will dry clear. But I am going to try to nail it where I want it. So I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to give you a sneak peek of something that's coming on Wednesday night. So let me get my little knifey. This is going to be a 1-card night. And then I'll just show the other designs unless I get them done. I'm just going to get rid of anything that's in the way. Okay. So smile. And then we'll put this on with a little foam tape. So I have my ThermoWeb foam tape here. This is a little bit wider than I want it to be. So I'm going to use my gooey scissors for this. I'm just going to cut a piece and then I'm going to trim it down the center a little off center because I do want it to be a little thicker. But this is a perfect piece for popping up the butterfly, so I'll save that. And then this is going to go right there. And then I will show you. I know I should just use my knife for this. I always struggle because I've been gardening and I cut my nails really short and I don't have a nail to get under there. And I see people using a knife to do it, and it's smart, makes sense. Smile, we've got each other. And the butterfly. I can pop him up in the center just by using that little leftover strip. That'll be enough. And we'll pop him up here. Okay, I want to show you something fun that we have coming out. Are you ready? This is a new embellishment coming to Gina K Designs, and these are little white and black hearts. And I love them so much. They're just little clay hearts. And you can, I love them for shaker cards, yes, but I don't make a ton of shaker cards, but what I really love them for is using them to create that little dot over the eye. That is, to me, that is the most fun thing. So I'm going to just put a little dot of glue there. And let's see if this will pick this up. Yes. And I'll add the little heart. So these are coming on Wednesday night with a couple of other embellishments. I'll show you one more, just another sneak peek. We have them in rainbow too. Look at that, all the cute little rainbow hearts. I'm so excited about these. I love them so much. And, you know, I have found them in white, in all white. I've found them in all black, but I haven't found them in black and white mix. And I haven't found them in these fun rainbow colors. So, okay, so there is my card, Smile. We've got each other. With the background. So I think I'm going to whip together another couple cards before I actually post them in the group. So this way you can see a couple other things, and this way I can pull out more tools and I can take a little bit of time so I can show you these other cards. But there's one anyway for the night, and you get the idea. I'll show you the backgrounds one more time. So here is the pattern one that we did ourselves using Sentimental Bouquet. And then this one with Tranquil Teal. And then this one with Cranberry Tart. This one I love. I have to do something with this one right here. I love them all though, really. So, but I don't think I have enough time. I only have 6 minutes to make one more card. I don't think I'm going to get it out. So I'll see what I can do in a little bit. So tonight's topic was trying to stay positive through tough times. And I have a quote here that has been on my Facebook page since almost the day that I started my Facebook page, maybe 12 years ago. This was also on my website for a long time and on my blog. And I love this quote. And really, really true. You know, staying positive is really important, but really the positivity comes from the way you handle situations. So here's my quote. How others treat me is their path. How I respond is mine. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I will be back on Wednesday with another fun project. Actually, Wednesday night is our release party. So I will be live. I might even do a 2-hour program that night, because the first hour I have to bring in all of my wonderful illustrators so that they can show you their stamp sets, and I have a brand new kit. So maybe we'll spend the second hour making some things with the new kit. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Always great to see all of you. I love you all. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you again